It's finally here, the video we all wait for each year, our 4th annual Top 10 Cheapest All-Inclusive Resorts. Hey everyone, it's Vanessa and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my annual Cheapest All-Inclusives video I do at the beginning of each year. And I'm extra excited to share my list with you because almost all of these places are new to my channel. I've recently discovered many of them because we're all looking to save money these days. And I also really tried to find a balance of locations as well, so you have a nice variety of destinations. And they're just an incredible value for the money. And on that note, a couple of things to tell you before we begin. Because I've done this video a few times already, I've learned what to do and not to do. And one of the things I'm changing is giving prices. They shift entirely too much. The travel industry has been the most volatile thing over the past few years. And I'll have viewers watch a cheapest video from years ago, not look at the date, and wonder why rates are higher from what I quoted. Seriously? The term cheap is of course relative, especially these days, but I've always tried my best to find you all-inclusives with the best rates that provide the best value for your money in terms of what you get in amenities, activities, location, and style for that rate. And one last important thing you have to take into account. The sweet spot for booking is usually 6 to 8 weeks out, not 6 to 8 months. The rates will be insanely high if you book too far in advance and avoid the months of January through March like the plague if you're traveling on a budget. But with all that being said, let's see how you can have a great vacation on the cheap. Number 10, Moon Palace, Ocho Rios. Last year, my cheapest Jamaica pick was Hilton Rose Hall, but this year we're heading to Ocho Rios to a gated beachfront resort just a 10-minute walk from downtown Ocho Rios, so a lot to do all around you within just 10 minutes, which I'll get to later, but a very long drive, about 90 minutes from Sangster Airport in Montego Bay. The resort does offer free round-trip transfer, but the downside is you usually have to reserve it weeks in advance, so make sure to do that when you do your room booking. So this property is very big, 17 acres with 2 large towers, and you'll check into a very attractive marble lobby before heading to one of their 705 very spacious and attractive rooms, some of the nicest on my list, complete with mini bars and furnished balconies. And this is definitely one of those resorts where you want a higher room because the higher the room, the better the view. It makes a big difference at this one. The amenities of this property are wonderful, beginning with the relaxing beach, which has loungers and umbrellas for shade, and then they have a second smaller beach, which is just for water sports. They offer many, so it's nice there's that separation. You also get 4 oceanside pools that come complete with swim-up bar, snack beds, and sunbeds, and are surrounded by very pretty gardens. For kids, they have great options from a flow rider surf machine to water park area, so lots to do for everyone. And the spa is very nice and large as well and offers many treatment options. Both the dining and service can be inconsistent, which is why it's the lowest entry on my list. Some meals and locations it's excellent, and others can be mediocre, but a lot of variety here as well as 24-hour room service. As I said earlier, one of the great things about this resort is its location in Ocho Rios, central to so many activities, and I recommend checking out Dunn's River Falls. It's a wonderfully unique experience, and as I've said in other videos, the key when booking is to make sure you pay attention to whether the tour states that you're visiting versus climbing the falls because you want to climb. Such a fun time. But back to the resort, what you get in terms of size, amenities, activities, and even style makes this all-inclusive a great deal in Jamaica. Number 9, Radisson Blu Punta Cana. First of all, the rates here are absolutely fantastic, some of the best, and the property is ideally located only 25 minutes from Punta Cana Airport and about 10 minutes from downtown Bavaro in Cabeza de Toro, which is one of the nicest areas on the coast of Punta Cana in the DR. It's actually a small fishing village which has the prettiest scenery and beautiful white sand beaches, so a great location for a resort. The beach itself is a bit narrow, and you will see seaweed sprinkled around, but still very pretty. But while the beach is small, the property is actually very big, with 708 rooms spread across 10 buildings, and the main section of the resort where everyone spends their time looks like a Caribbean village, and this is where you'll find the lobby, restaurants, casino, and even bowling alley. Now, I will caution you guys, unlike the last one, this is not a quiet or even relaxing resort. This is the all-inclusive if you're looking for more of a fun and lively party atmosphere with lots of poolside activity. We're not talking crazy spring break or anything here, but it's definitely more active and louder than the others on my list. But I always like to give you guys variety in my list, and not everybody wants a quiet, relaxing vacation. So like I said, most guests spend the day around their two big pools. One has a pool bar and lots of entertainment throughout the day. If you're traveling as a family, they have both a kids and teen club, which is rare, and that's where you'll find the theater and bowling alley. And there are just a lot of positives to this place. Number one being the incredible rates, which is the main reason it's on this list, but you also get a very attractive property with a lot of activities and entertainment and fun for guests of all ages, even teenagers who usually tend to be left out of a lot of these all-inclusives. The downsides, because of course no place is perfect, is the popular areas, we're talking pools and restaurants, can get crowded, so longer wait times. The great rate attracts a lot of guests, and between the DJs and music and general party atmosphere, like I said, it can get loud, which might be a positive for some and a negative for others. And I know this is probably the worst negative for many of you, but they do use a lot of timeshare marketing on site with things like special buffet meals if you listen to a pitch, that kind of thing. Some guests experience it and others don't, so it's hit or miss, but just wanted to make you aware. But if you're looking for a fun all-inclusive to take the whole family on a budget, it's still a really great option for you guys. Number 8, Friendly Fun Puerto Vallarta Beach Resort. One of the best deals in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, this tower all-inclusive is located on Banderas Bay with a very convenient location only 2 miles from the airport and 5 minutes from downtown Puerto Vallarta, which means you can be at your resort in a matter of minutes after touching down, which is great. And this resort has a very interesting and mixed crowd and vibe. Because it's such an affordable rate and convenient location, you have both extremes of guests, from party all-night college kids, yes, even spring breakers, to families with young kids, which is very rare. It's basically all guests who want a good deal, so as a result, it does get pretty noisy. The 218 standard rooms could also use some updating, especially noise insulation, and they are very basic in style and decor, but do come with furnished balconies, and in this case, I recommend trying to book a top floor room where it will be a bit quieter and also have good ocean views. The beach has very calm water and a pretty good beach bar as well as part of your all-inclusive rate, but not surprisingly, the big hub of the resort is centered around the pool deck, where you have your restaurants and even beach access as well, and the pool is surrounded by loungers and tall palm trees. The families with young kids stick to the very big family pool and kids club, which offers a lot of activities for the kiddos, including their crazy hour. They bring wildlife experts with animals, which definitely adds to the excitement and noise. But adults can head over to their adults-only pool, which overlooks the ocean, and there's a small spa there as well, where you can get an outdoor massage. All your all-inclusive meals and drinks are served poolside at their 3 restaurants, including their late-night menu. And interestingly, they have very nice and romantic a la carte dinners with a formal dress code, but there's no air conditioning for the open-air restaurants, so you can get a little warm, so be sure to pack breathable clothing. And in addition to the late-night menu, you also have the lobby bar, which offers light meals and cocktails with their nighttime entertainment, which usually includes karaoke. There's no question that Puerto Vallarta has gotten increasingly expensive, but this is definitely a great deal for the area, and if you're looking to have fun and socialize, this place is one big party from young kids to adults. You'll all have a great time here on a budget. Number 7, Renaissance Wind Creek, Curaçao. I've mentioned in recent reviews how over the past 5 years, Curaçao is just experiencing a tremendous travel boom, growing in popularity like crazy. And this property is so pretty, with a fantastic waterfront location, just a 5-minute walk to downtown Willemstad, and many of the city's popular tourist attractions. The rooms were recently updated and look so pretty and modern, just nice and bright, and while many rooms offer balconies with ocean views, one thing to be aware of is this is a very popular cruise stop, and 9 times out of 10, you'll just be staring at a big old cruise ship as your view. So not much they can do about that, but just wanted to let you know. One of the downsides is no on-site beach, but the good news is their infinity pools are very nice with lots of places to lounge. They call it the Infinity Beach, but something interesting to note is that they're more relaxing during the day, even at the pool bar, and then get very clubby at night with DJ music, which is the total opposite of most resorts. But I actually think this way makes much more sense, and more resorts should do this. Dining here is good, and the resort just became all-inclusive in 2022 through their all-inclusive package, which includes all 3 meals, unlimited premium beverages, room service, and even lunch boxes on the go if you're heading into town for a day of activities. So this is something that guests were requesting for a while, and this addition has made it even more popular and highly rated. So overall, I have to tell you guys, it's a modern, even elegant property. Everything just looks very nice thanks to the recent years of renovation. It's even nicer than the one in Aruba, and even taking the lack of beach into account, definitely one of the best budget all-inclusive deals in the Caribbean. Number 6, Windjammer Landing. One of the only repeats this year, let's head to the northwest corner of beautiful St. Lucia, about 5 miles from the capital city of Castries and 90 minutes from the airport, so a bit of a drive, sitting on a beautiful 60-acre property. Yes, I know the rates are pricier than when I listed it in previous cheapest all-inclusive videos. What hasn't gone up in price? But still a very great budget deal for St. Lucia, which is not a cheap island. I think a lot of travelers forget how pricey St. Lucia is because it's such a seemingly rustic, nature-centric island. But St. Lucia's expensive. If you want to start looking at prices, let's start talking Anse Chastanet and Jade Mountain and even Coconut Bay, and you'll see what I mean. So this is still the best budget all-inclusive deal on the island by a lot. Number 5, Occidental at Xcaret Destination. One of my best hidden gem all-inclusives on this list, especially for the money. And one of the main reasons it's gone so under the radar is because Hotel Xcaret gets all of the attention. It's the big flashy all-inclusive, and not that it doesn't deserve all the accolades because it's great, but it's pretty pricey. And the Occidental is usually a third of the price, so huge savings. And this is very much like an Atlantis situation. You have the big well-known property that gets all the attention, but there are many nearby lesser-known resorts where you can still enjoy the park but save a lot on your nightly rate. So some specifics. It's located in Mexico, about an hour from Cancun International, and is located on 25 acres inside the Xcaret Nature Park, so one of the only resorts with direct park access. And you get 2 direct entrances into the park from both the lobby and beach. The Barcelo Resort Group actually bought the property in 2015, and in 2016 they renovated the rooms, lobby, and some restaurants. And because of conservation laws, the property was built around the park, which means you get gorgeous views everywhere with a lot of wildlife sightings as well. One of the downsides I will say is I recommend this resort mostly for families with younger kids, because on the days you're not going to the park, there isn't all that much to do. But let's be honest, the draw for this entire area is the park, so that's a given. Also beware that they do sometimes give timeshare pitches since they're trying to make it like a Disney park timeshare equivalent, so keep your radar up for that. But for such an overlooked property, it's big, you guys, with 765 rooms that come with refrigerated mini bars, which are restocked every other day with bottled water, soda, and beer. The beach here is very unique, rocky, but you also get access to the man-made multi-level beach area of the park that surrounds a lagoon, and drinks are available from both the beach level bar and upstairs in the snack buffet Palapa. The The property has a total of 7 pools, including an entertainment pool, kids pool, family pool, which is usually the most popular, main pool, which has the swim-up bar, quiet pool, and adults-only saltwater pool, and each one includes drink service. For dining, you get 11 restaurants, although please note that the a la cartes only serve dinner, and seating is on a first-come, first-served basis. And each night the lobby has live music and a new live performance in the open-air theater as well. But of course, the real draw for this place is the proximity and wildlife of the Eco Park, and you can usually book a package deal for both entrance and transportation, all for a really affordable nightly rate, especially compared to the competition. Number 4, Tui Sensatori Cap Cana. Now to an adults-only all-inclusive, let's head to a 2-resort complex 45 minutes from Punta Cana Airport to one of the more quiet locations in the area, but you're still within a 10-minute drive of a lot of tourist activities like ziplining, wildlife safaris, and sports fishing, which is nice. Now, right away, I have to tell you that this property shares its location and almost all of its amenities with the Nickelodeon Resort next door. I reviewed it in other videos, and I think it's a great property, but some people looking for an adults-only resort might not be happy about that. Families from the Nickelodeon Resort do move freely to the Sensatori side. Staff doesn't really care, so there are times where it can get busier and a bit louder, but overall still manages to be a pretty relaxing property. So the style here is very chic, almost South Beach, Miami vibes. The rooms are very mid-century modern, nice and bright. And my favorite thing is the large soaking tubs by the floor-to-ceiling windows. And don't worry, they have electric shades for privacy. Each room comes with a furnished balcony, and you have options of wraparound, ocean view, and swim-up rooms as well, so one of your better room variety resorts. And even though you'll share a lot of the same amenities with Nickelodeon, the property does have adults-only areas at the beach, pool, and even several restaurants. So the beach is technically semi-private since all DR beaches are public, but you never see non-guests, and they have lots of loungers and beach beds to go around. Please note the water here is pretty choppy, so most guests stick to sports rather than swimming. The 2 beachfront infinity pools are beautiful with great views, although the adults-only section does get crowded since that's where everyone wants to be. Their dining options and bars are concentrated in an area called Gourmet Village, which looks like a town square, and tons of cuisine options, so you don't have to repeat any meals if you don't want to. The spa is incredibly chic and modern, and they offer both open air and couples treatments as well. So overall, this is just a very attractive resort, you guys, with a nice beach, beautiful rooms, great amenities, and dining. Just a wonderful adults-only option if you're looking for a deal on an all-inclusive. The only downside is, of course, Nickelodeon being next door. I personally don't think it's an issue, but some guests might. But other than that, it's a great adults-only all-inclusive and one that should probably get more attention. Number 3, Iberostar Toucan Playa del Carmen. For this next budget all-inclusive, let's head to Playa Car in Mexico, which is a mostly residential area that sits about an hour from Cancun Airport, located between jungle and ocean. And on the surface, it just seems like any family all-inclusive. But there's actually a lot that sets this place apart. So when you first walk in, you'll notice how big the lobby is and how it's filled with many locally crafted furnishings and decorations. I always say there are 2 types of travelers, ones who check in and immediately head to their rooms, and those who, like myself, like to explore the grounds a bit after check-in. So if you're like me and keep heading past the lobby, you'll find a wooden walkway over koi ponds and lots of quiet spots to relax on the grounds, beach, and by the pools. It's actually a surprisingly relaxing property for a family all-inclusive. The local authentic style continues in the rooms and suites, which are super bright and colorful. And I will say a quick tip here, some of the beds sit on concrete platforms, so ask for a foam topper if you want your bed to be a little bit softer, and they'll be happy to accommodate you. Rooms also come standard with mini bars with water, soda, beer, and potato chips, and best of all, each one has a furnished balcony or terrace. But another tip for you, if your room is near the gardens or forest area, you'll probably get some howler monkeys visiting you since they like to climb the rooftops there. No elevators in the buildings either, so if you have mobility issues, request a room on the ground floor. Outdoors, a ton of activities included in your rate from kayaking, snorkeling, sailing, and windsurfing, and they even have a dive center for all levels of divers. The beach is very nice with pretty sand and is very walkable, although you do see seaweed on the beach and in the water. Their main pool is nice and big, a freeform style with fountains and a big whirlpool in the middle, and you'll see a lot of organized games and aerobics classes here throughout the day. If you want more quiet, head to the adults-only pool, which is grotto style, with a waterfall over big boulders and a swim-up bar with tables and stools right in the water. At night, the theater hosts live, very Vegas-style performances with Broadway songs and boogie nights theme parties, Mexican folklore shows, beach barbecues, and movie nights, so lots of activities both day and night, which is nice. The dining is unfortunately nothing to speak of, so I don't have much good to say about that. But that's the only negative of this place, with many positives. It's a large yet peaceful property with lots of locally authentic touches, amenities, and activities available all hours and for all ages. Number 2, Bahia Principe Grand La Romana. For a 5-star resort, I was shocked at these rates. So affordable, they're like giving these rooms away, but you still get a very wonderful experience and don't have to sacrifice on quality. So it sits on a very secluded stretch of road between San Pedro and La Romana in the DR, about a 45-minute drive from either the Santo Domingo or La Romana airport, and this area is much more low-key than Punta Cana, giving a much quieter experience, especially at night, which might be a positive for some travelers and a negative for others. It's one of those resorts that's best for those of you who prefer staying put and just relaxing on property. The rooms here are pretty basic, nothing too fancy, and I wouldn't bother upgrading to a suite because they're not that much better, but again, one of the best rates of any all-inclusive, so you can excuse the basic and outdated rooms. Heading outside, the beach is along a bay, not the ocean, and because of that, the water tends to be pretty murky with a lot of algae, especially compared to the beaches in Punta Cana, although the water is very calm and swimmable, and the sand is very well maintained. But still, you'll find most guests lounging around the main pool, which is divided into 3 sections, including the popular swim-up bar section and a kiddie pool as well. Most guests spend the day swimming here rather than the ocean, but surprisingly, there are usually plenty of loungers to go around. During the day, the animation team makes frequent visits to both the pool and beach areas, and they also have nighttime entertainment as well. Although interestingly, even the disco and casino are usually quiet by 11 p.m., even though they stay open later, since most guests, who tend to be older here, are in for the night pretty early. And one tip that no one talks about, you get some pretty amazing sunset views at this resort, so try to schedule a romantic dinner at the end of their lovely dock around that time. You'll love it. So an amazing value resort, truly one of the best all-inclusive deals out there, especially for families looking for a relaxing environment on a budget. Number 1, Paradisus Palma Real. I've talked before about the Reserva at Paradisus next door, definitely not a cheap resort, but now let's focus on this bigger sister property, which is a great deal, located on a spacious beach in the Bavaro section of Punta Cana, just a 20-minute drive from the airport. And the wonderful thing about this all-inclusive is you can tailor your experience to be as budget-friendly or as luxurious as you'd like, which is nice that it affords such flexibility. You'll notice the ocean from the lobby as soon as you check in. I love resorts that have that feature. And when you head down the steps to the outdoor courtyard area, you'll find restaurants, luxury shops, the pool complex, and of course, access to the beautiful beach. But despite all of these on-site amenities, it's not a huge property and is relatively easy to navigate. No shuttle necessary here. You'll find it to be more of a relaxed atmosphere, and even though kids and families are welcome, most guests tend to be couples, and more specifically, honeymooners. It's a very popular resort for honeymoons. The 554 suites are located in buildings that do have elevators for those guests with mobility issues, and the rooms are overall very nice, could stand some updating, but a good size with daily stocked minibars and furnished outdoor spaces. And I won't go into royal service since this is a budget video, but you can upgrade to the adults only section where you have private pool and beach areas as well as butler service. I have to say, for an affordable all-inclusive, service is wonderful here, and so is the dining actually, especially at the a la carte options. The buffets can be hit or miss, but the a la carte dining is very good. And you'll see lots of couples grabbing an after-dinner drink at one of the many bars sprinkled throughout the property, including one in a courtyard complete with fountain, which is very romantic. The beautiful white sand beach is very nice with cushioned loungers and day beds, but it does get seaweed unfortunately. The main pool is a very good size and beachfront with submerged loungers and a swim-up bar, and this property offers so many included activities, especially during the day, from workshops to arts and crafts, cooking classes, parasailing, great spa as well, and then at night you get nightly dancing and live music. So this place is definitely a bargain with a great beach, good dining, wonderful activities and amenities, and even friendly and polite service, making it my new #1 cheapest all-inclusive. So there you have my new top 10 cheapest all-inclusive resorts for 2023, our fourth now, and with how expensive everything is these days, I think this annual video is more important than ever, so I really hope it helps you guys have a wonderful vacation this year on a budget. If you'd like me to continue making these each year, please click that like button and let me know in the comments, and I'll continue to make it an annual thing. This is Vanessa for Passport Pages. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye, guys.